Yo, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing another battery video on the H4M and an upgraded battery from Rabbit Labs. So Rabbit Labs sent this to me for free. This is their new improved battery. It is a 3.7 9.25 watt hour battery. And this is going to have a huge upgrade from the one that is in your porter pack, because the one that is in your porter pack, it wasn't made properly, and it's a cheaper battery that more than likely open source just sourced out to keep the unit at a low cost. So pretty much what's happening on the H4M battery is that when it drops below the 3.0 volt threshold, the unit goes into this. A typical battery would just shut off, like saying, okay, I am now beyond my regulated safety zone. I'm going to shut off. Now, the battery that's in the H4M that comes stock from open source SCR Labs does not have that. So to show you here, I drained my unit purposefully. You can see here that my battery right now is at a 2.9. Now, when I unplug off my charger, the actual porter pack H4M, you're gonna notice that the screen is gonna go dim. If I leave it unplugged, you can see that the screen keeps going dimmer and dimmer, and then before you just won't be able to see it anymore. Now that's because the battery doesn't have that shut off that says, hey, I'm below my threshold. I'm going to shut the unit off to save myself from being depleted too far. So a lot of you guys are getting your H4Ms and you're having battery issues. That's because that threshold, more than likely, is below the safety zone. We discussed this in the past videos, and it's all over the Discord, from either the PortPack Discord, the open source SDR Discord, my Discord. A lot of us have discussed this issue, is that when you get your unit with stock from open source SDR Labs, you need to charge your unit at least 24 hours before you can actually use your unit, because as you can see here, the battery that I've had depleted on purpose for this video, the screen is no longer visible. Now, if I plug my unit back in, so you can see that we're charging and that we're at a 2.8 increase. Now, if I leave this on charging long enough, and then it gets be above that 3 volt threshold, the screen will stay at its brightness because it's now above that threshold. If I unplug it and let the battery below that 3 volt threshold, you'll see the screen start to dim down again, because there is no automatic shut off on the battery. What we're going to do here today is we're going to take the unit apart. We're going to put this new battery in that Rabbit Labs sent me. They sent me this awesome SD card as well. You can see it right there. So thank you again, Rabbit Labs, for sending this out to me. That means a lot. And a cool sticker here. I can't say enough awesome things about Rabbit Labs. They are amazing to work with. They have been so cool on communicating with them on my Discord and just in messages and such. But they have some really cool stuff coming out for 2025. They have the Can Commander for the Flipper Zero, so go check that out if you haven't. They had an early bird special, but I think it's closed now. But if not, regardless, go check out Rabbit Labs for any of your Flipper Zero needs. They do get the H4Ms in stock. If you're trying to get your hands on a H4M, go check out Rabbit Labs. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into the H4M here. We're going to go ahead and take this thing apart. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it, and we're going to shut it off. Now, when you're taking apart your unit, you do want to make sure that it is off. Like I said, you don't ever want to turn your unit on without a antenna attached, because you can definitely damage the radios in there. So go ahead and make sure that your unit is off. I'm going to use my little SMA nut wrench. If you haven't already taken apart your H4M, this is going to be a great little tutorial how to do it. Like I said, take off those 3 nuts and washers off the SMA antenna, and then we're going to just unscrew the little nylon screws here. Now, when you're unscrewing this, these little nylon standoffs between the 2 boards, they will free spin, so you need to kind of either pinch the board or use your fingers to get in there and kind of hold them tight from free spinning. Now we can slide that case off, and then there we have it. Now we can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4 standoffs that just fell out of there. Now this should make it a little bit easier to take apart. Kind of gently start prying the 2 pieces apart real slowly from each side until those pins start to kind of give. There we go. All right. So here we have the stock battery that came with the unit. We're going to go ahead and unplug it from its JST connector right down here. And keep in mind the orientation of that connector to help you out. So we're looking at the battery. We see that red positive is going to be towards the inside of the device. Kind of pry that out of there. You might need to use like tweezers or a knife, plastic spatula type thing. We're going to use my knife. That's all I have near me. There we go. So the battery is held in place with double-sided sticky tape. So you can just gently pry it up real slowly and it'll start to give. Don't rip it because you don't want to accidentally damage any of the components beneath it. Here we have the stock battery. It's a 3.7 volt. It's a 2500 milliamp, which is roughly 9.25 watt hours. The one that Rabbit Labs is upgrading to, we're looking at 9.25. So it is the same milliamps. The two batteries, the one on the left here is from Rabbit Labs. This is a stock battery. Let's just go ahead and throw that guy in a fire pit. But while we're here, let's take a look at this board, because I haven't looked at it yet. There's a lot of cool artwork. There's a lot of signatures, it looks like, on the artwork of the actual trim body. So if you don't know, this bottom board, this is the original design from Great Scott Gadgets, the Hack RF. So it's been around for about a decade now. A lot of revisions. This is revision 10.10C. There are new revisions coming out the first quarter of 2025 this year. That's pretty cool. But there's the back of it there. If you haven't ever taken apart your unit, you can definitely kind of look at it. So this is the first time, like I said, I'm taking apart this unit. So there's some, like I said, there's some pretty cool artwork on here. I believe that a lot of these are developers. So you got Pseudo Guest on there, Maskool, Fogum, Kimev. Oh, there's J-Links right there. I'm trying to look for my buddy Erie. Anyways, that's the unit right there, and we'll do a zoom in of all those cool signatures and stuff. You know, I mean, you can see in there, everybody signed this board. Tons of cool signatures on here. I love the artwork. I love art in general, especially like kind of abstract style art, kind of like what this is on the front. Real uh, pen and ink. I used to do a lot of pen and ink artwork in high school and college, and so this like really speaks to my inner artist. Real cool board. All right, plug this guy back in. So we're gonna slap this battery that Rabbit Labs. It's always hard looking at a tiny little big screen to make sure we're in focus when you're using manual focus lenses. So we're just gonna tuck that guy as like that. Gonna move my wires out of the way, and hopefully I can still use the adhesive that's currently on the board. It should be sticky enough, and if it's not, we're just gonna sandwich the board together against the Hacker F1. So the battery in here is a 2032. On the H2, I believe, was a 1612. So it was a really weird, like hard to find kind of wash battery style. But this new battery is a 2032, which are commonly found in a lot of storage. You can buy them like in bulk from Amazon for like $6 for 15 pieces. A lot of red dots use them if you're in the gun industry. A lot of optics use them as well, like illuminated optics. So real good battery to have on hand regardless. But that's the battery that's in there. So let's go ahead and put these two boards back together in the right orientation. So when you're putting these together, you want to make sure that we are lining up properly on those pads. See that there? Want to make sure that we're all lined up, and then we can gently start to squeeze like a sandwich the units together. Make sure that everything goes as it came out. So now let's go ahead and put the unit back together. Before we put the unit back together, let's turn it on to make sure that everything is as it should be. So I'm just going to take my antenna here. We're going to go ahead and thread that guy back on. I am using a BNC connector. Now this is kind of crazy. This little sidestep here, but this is how much SMA we have. Now, I hope on the next units that come out that they shorten that down by about 1/8 of an inch, because then that's going to allow your BNC, if you are running BNC, to sit flush against your plastic housing right there, and you won't have that gap where you need to then apply a ton of little bitty washers to it. So that's how I kind of keep that gap sealed. My original videos that I started out with, I actually took a file and shaved down my SMA flush, so my BNC would sit flush in the housing. I don't recommend doing that, but that was my fix. So we're gonna turn this unit on, and I haven't charged this battery, so we're just gonna find out what happens with it. So let's just boot it up. This battery came pretty well charged, it looks like. Let's move over to my battery indicator. This battery came charged to us at 73%, so almost full. So props to you, Rabbit Labs. I don't know if y'all did that on purpose, but thank you. You see here that we are running at 3.887 volts. I'll do a short of me depleting this battery down to that 3-volt threshold and then see what happens with it if it just shuts off. We'll find out. I don't know, but kind of curious. I don't have 5 hours and 2 minutes to wait till that depletes. So I wanted to make sure that the battery was plugged in properly. So that's why you want to kind of test it out. But again, put your antenna back on there before you kick it on. You don't want to fry anything. I want to show you a little trick that I learned after taking my unit apart a lot of times. Go ahead and take your standoffs on the top. Go ahead and put those in first. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip the unit over. Go ahead and start your screws. And I'll tell you why here in a second. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the bottom side. You can then take your bottom shell. We can go ahead and pop it in there. Now, the reason why I did that is because now you don't have to worry about those falling all over the place. They're just gonna stay there. So now you can take your unit, and then you also have little screws that help it stand off its face. For bottom screws, get those started, and then we're just gonna screw them in. And after that, you don't have to worry about your standoffs walking on you. Now we can then unscrew those 4 that we started earlier on the front, and we can pop our front face plate on. You might need to go from the bottom, so go from the bottom because this little headphone jack right here sticks out. So we're gonna go from the bottom, get that on first, and then we can pinch it together and make sure it all lines up on the top. And now that it does, now we can put back in those 4 nylon screws. And 4. There we go. All right. All of our little accessories and whatnot's back on there. Little 3D printed SMA thread protectors. And crank that. O-rings also help from keeping the SMAs. If you have an antenna, an estimated SMA antenna on there, or a BNC to SMA antenna or a adapter, if you have an O-ring stacked high enough, can when you screw on your adapter and that compresses that O-ring then has pressure going back up on those threads, and that'll keep your BNC or your antenna from spinning off because it's kind of back pressure and it's also a rubber facing, so it's going to grip a little bit better. Little pro tip there, if you will. So yeah, that is how to change out the battery on your H4M. I highly, highly, highly recommend buying the Rabbit Labs battery. They are $15, not shipped. So I believe shipping is going to be about $5 to $9. I don't know for sure. This one was sent to me for free from Rabbit Labs. So thank you again. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate it. And all the little goodies that you gave me alongside with that. You can never have too many SD cards. My SD card video is still coming out. I just been backed up. Christmas vacation and all the holidays and hunting season's ending finally, and just New Year's, of course. So we have a giveaway from Rabbit Labs. They are giving away a battery for the H4M. So to enter, go down in the description. The first link is from my Discord. When you're join my Discord, when you go to my Discord, it's still very, very new. There's not a lot happening yet, but there's a giveaway area. There's a giveaway bot on there. All you gotta do is click the little icon at the bottom of the giveaway bot to be entered to win. And the time frame will be Tuesday, January 7th, all the way through Saturday, January 11th at roughly like 7:51, 7:52 p.m. Join my Discord, go to the giveaway, and then click that little bitty, it looks like a party hat, I think is what it is. I guess, you know what, we can just look right now. Make this simple for all of us. I don't know why I'm just wasting my breath telling you what to do when I can just look at it. Giveaways, all right. We're gonna just go to screen recording here. 3, 2, 1, blast off. All right, Discord. We're gonna go to Discord, join my Discord, JOAT for Jeremiah of All Trades. Go down to giveaways, and then there you can see giveaway bot. We have a little party hat. We have one entry so far, and the giveaway will end January 11th at 7:51 my time, Mountain Time. So just be aware of that. And yeah, all you do is click the little party hat, and then the giveaway bot will randomly select a winner. I have nothing to do with it. The giveaway bot does it all for me, keeps it fair for everybody, and I wish you the best of luck. Again, thank you, Rabbit Labs, for sending me that battery and the SD card. I greatly appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to having a battery that actually works. Anyways, yeah, thanks guys for watching. I appreciate your time, and you guys stay tuned for the next video for fox hunts. And then we're gonna just keep going down the list because next we have TPMS RX, ProtoView NRF, FM radio, and then AFSK if it's fixed, and then analog TV, which most of you don't even know what analog TV is, man. Anyways, all right, like, subscribe, do that fun stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video.